Albert Camus, a French philosopher, author and journalist who was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1957. The human heart has a tiresome tendency to label as fate only what crushes it, but happiness likewise, in its way, is without reason, since it is inevitable. At the end of every experience, one does not become wise, one becomes an expert. But in what? Implies we become experts in the particular tasks, situations or problems we've encountered, honing practical abilities rather than developing philosophical understanding. I rebel, therefore I exist. The act of rebellion, of asserting one's will and freedom against an absurd or unjust world, affirms one's own existence and creates a sense of shared human dignity and solidarity. Hope, contrary to popular belief, is equivalent to resignation. And living is not resignation. Hope is a form of resignation because it postpones living for a future event or a transcendent reality, which he views as a way to escape the absurdity of life rather than confronting and living it fully. There is not love of life without despair about life. This precisely was the most disheartening thing, that the habit of despair is worse than despair itself. Being happy is a form of resistance. Choosing happiness in a society marked by pain and conformity is a revolutionary act, a conscious and courageous stand. The need to be right is the sign of a vulgar mind. Camus suggests that an obsessive insistence on always being correct is a characteristic of a narrow-minded and unsophisticated person. What man can bear most is being judged, hence the attachment to the mother or the blinded lover, hence also the love of animals. This quote explains that people seek out relationships and circumstances where they are not subject to judgment. Not being loved is merely bad luck. Not loving is a misfortune. You cannot love in another what you try to hide in yourself. Everything seems futile here except the sun, our kisses, and the wild sense of the earth. Camus' existential rebellion is a cry against nonsense, but also a creative act, taking on the responsibility of living with dignity, justice, and solidarity, even knowing that the universe remains indifferent to our aspirations. Man is the only creature that refuses to be what he is, yet there is more to admire in men than to despise. Humans often resist their true nature, complicating life through denial or pretense, unlike animals that simply exist as they are. No man can say what is, but sometimes he can say what is not. Camus emphasizes how, through denial, man can approach his true essence. By defining what he is not, the individual can reveal fragments of his inner truth. The nihilist is not someone who believes in nothing, but someone who does not believe in what is. What is a man in revolt? A man who says no. This act of no is not a rejection of everything, but a declaration of human dignity and a moral refusal to accept what is wrong. For Camus, this no also contains a profound yes to shared human values like freedom, justice, and integrity, asserting autonomy and affirming a more humane existence. All great deeds and all great thoughts have a ridiculous beginning. Those who really have something to say don't speak. Half a man's life is spent insinuating, turning away, and remaining silent. Nothing is more despicable than respect based on fear. The fear-based compliance is not genuine respect, but rather a hollow submission, contrasting it with true respect rooted in recognizing someone's inherent humanity, ideas, and character. How many crimes have been committed for no other reason than that the perpetrator could not bear being in the wrong? Truth, like light, blinds. Lies, on the other hand, are a beautiful twilight, which highlights all objects. This quote suggests that the stark reality of truth can be overwhelming, while the softer, more ambiguous nature of lies can make things appear more attractive or understandable by softening harsh details. To grow old is to move from passion to compassion. Youthful intensity and strong feelings gradually give way to empathy and understanding for others as one ages. Happiness? Feeling a man's hand before dying. I still believe this world has no higher purpose, but I know there is something that does have meaning: humanity, because it is the only one who claims to have it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more philosophical content.